Pokémon Horizons is about to make history, and we need to talk about it. The Pokémon anime has been airing for nearly 30 years, and across all 9 generations, there's one very specific thing it has never done, not even once. Let me show you something real quick and see if you notice the pattern. Ash's Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, Ash's Bayleaf, Quilava, and Totodile, Ash's Sceptile, Maze Blaziken, and Brock's Marshtomp, Ash's Torterra, Infernape, and Dawn's Piplup, Ash's Snivy, Pignite, and Oshawott, Clement's Chespin, Serena's Delphox, and Ash's Greninja, Ash's Rowlet, Incineroar, and Lana's Primarina, Go's Grookey, Cinderace, and Inteleon. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? For 3 decades, the Pokémon anime has never once fully evolved all 3 starter Pokémon in a single series. Some stay unevolved, some evolve only once, some go all the way, but never all 3 of them. And the more you think about that, the crazier it gets. After all, the fully evolved starter Pokémon are literally the Pokémon that every gamer will spend the most amount of time with in the games. They're meant to be the main measurement of the player's growth, of their progress, and yet the Pokémon anime has always held them back. It never fully evolves all 3 of them. Or well, that was the case until now, until Pokémon Horizons. You see, Liko's Florigato evolved into a Meowscarada in episode 88, and Roy's Crocalor evolved into Skeledirge in episode 119. And now in episode 128 airing this week, titled Step by Step Dot and Quaxwell, well, Dot's Quaxwell is about to evolve into Quaquaval. Here's the episode description. Dot has decided to step down as an 18 Terra-type trainer and become a support, however Quaxwell is desperately training for battles in Dot's absence. Iono sees this and points out that Dot's feelings are not in sync with her Pokemon. She challenges Dot to a battle. Dot is at the mercy of Iono and Bellibolt, however, seeing Quaxwell's refusal to give up, so clearly in this episode, Dot will overcome her self-doubt through the training, and the episode title and description alone tell us that Dot's Quaxwell is definitely going to evolve here. I mean, just in general, every other Pokemon in Horizons has fully evolved recently, one after another. Quaxwell is literally the only one left who hasn't evolved in the main cast. And then obviously the episode description points out that something big is going on with Quaxwell, and on top of that as well, the preview trailer for the episode literally shows Quaxwell's body getting the famous evolution glow, mid-battle with Iono. And plus, outside of the show, we saw Dot and her Quaquaval on some merchandise leaks, so we know it's happening. So that means, after this week's episode, all 3 starter Pokemon will be fully evolved in Pokemon Horizons, making it the first ever Pokemon anime series across the entire runtime of 30 years to achieve that. And the more I think about it, the more it becomes impossible to ignore why this is the case. And it really is because of just how different Pokemon Horizons is compared to every other Ash anime before it. Every Ash anime series had the unwritten rule to leave at least 1 starter Pokemon unevolved, and it wasn't ever for story reasons. Simply put, it was for business. The unevolved starter Pokemon are branding and marketing tools at the end of the day. They're small, recognizable, adorable, beloved by everyone, especially by kids. Kids who buy merchandise based on things they find cute. For example, plushies, keyrings, figurines. So therefore, keeping at least 1 starter Pokemon unevolved throughout the entire show, that means Pokemon can keep showing them being cute and funny every single week for 3 years, and therefore keep making kids buy merchandise of them for 3 years too. The main focus of the Pokemon anime has always been marketing. It's always been promoting merchandise. So with that in mind, it makes complete sense why in Ash's anime they never fully evolved all the starter Pokemon. They'd be losing a big monetarily valuable thing. But Pokemon Horizons, on the other hand, kinda feels like it's rejecting that mindset. Now don't get me wrong, they do have some characters who were definitely chosen for marketing purposes. Captain Pikachu, Freed's Charizard, Roy's Shiny Mega Lucario, Alt's Dragonite. But Pokemon Horizons is way more focused on linear storytelling and character development than ever before, especially in terms of the protagonists growing up, maturing, and aging. You heard me right, actual aging in the Pokemon anime. You see, Ash Ketchum was 10 years old forever, no one in his animes ever got older, but Liko Roy and Dot are aging throughout Horizons. They started the show as kids, and now towards the end of it, they're literally teenagers. Liko Roy and Dot actually aging and growing older, that's a key central element of the storyline and development in Horizons, and because of that, the starter Pokemon too are being treated way less like cute marketable mascots, and way more like actual main characters too, alongside the protagonists. allowing the starter Pokemon to fully grow and mature too through evolution, aligned with the protagonists themselves getting older and more mature. That makes the starter Pokemon a key representation of that element, of our heroes getting older and more mature. So like I said, the starter Pokemon are being used for a totally different purpose in Horizons than they were in Ash's animes. So therefore, the starter Pokemon fully evolving is way more fitting and necessary here in Horizons. For example, in this week's episode, Dot is finally about to fully overcome the anxieties and self-doubt that her younger self had at the beginning of Horizons, so this marks true maturity for her, the endgame of her growth. So then Quaxwell evolving simultaneously, especially into a Pokemon who's confident and loud and in your face like Quaquaval is, it's just perfectly aligned with Dot's development and her maturity as she grew older. Quaquaval is symbolic. It represents Dot stepping into true confidence too, understanding that she does belong alongside Liko and Roy, that she is confident and capable. She doesn't have to hide behind him as a support. And that's exactly why Horizons, letting all three starter Pokemon fully evolve, is so important. Liko with Meowscarada, Roy with Skeledirge, Dot with Quaquaval. The story Horizons is trying to tell with the characters aging wouldn't work if their starter Pokemon stayed frozen in time and not evolving. The whole point of Horizons is that our heroes and their Pokemon are evolving as people as they grow older over a linear timeline. The three final evolutions represent how much Liko, Roy and Dot have aged and matured. And as much as I truly adore and really miss baby Quaxley, and I do kind of still wish he was here, the focus on aging and maturing in Horizons just wouldn't hit anywhere near as hard if the starter Pokemon didn't fully evolve alongside their trainers. Imagine if we had this mature, cool Roy but with little baby Fuecoco. It wouldn't feel right, you know? So through this week's episode, Horizons will make history by breaking the Pokemon anime's 30-year unwritten rule, and through that, Horizons has proven again that it has the courage to break free from what came before it. And that's so hype to me, man. This is the first Pokemon anime series to be able to say that it allowed its entire cast to grow up fully. It didn't pull any punches, it didn't chicken out. It prioritized that over having cute, adorable mascots to push more merchandise. Oh, and by the way, when I've been talking about like the unevolved mascots and pushing merchandise, I don't always mean that in a bad way. It definitely had its place in the anime. The anime wouldn't have been the same without it. It gave us some of my favourite characters in the whole show. Ash's Pikachu, Ash's Oshawott, May's Skitty, Dawn's Piplup. They're all my literal children. I would die for them. But I am so unbelievably hyped that Horizons is trying something new and breaking the formula. So be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and let me know your thoughts on this development below. Are there any Pokemon in the anime who you wished evolved, or you wish didn't evolve? And I also want to say thank you so much to all of my incredible channel members on screen right now. That includes Juscadia, Toten, Fizz, Not Mini, Shareborn, Hope, Finny, Shiny. I really appreciate you guys so much. And on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again!